What's going on, YouTube? This your boy King Gabe,
and this is Queen Tina,
and we are here to talk about Dora and the Lost City of Gold, the live-action movie based from Dora the Explorer. As a lot of you probably know, Dora.
I was just laughing at the theme song.
I'm about to say, don't tell me your name, Dora, too.
To be honest, I haven't seen Dora, the animated series, before. I haven't.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's been a while since I seen it there. I think first time I saw Dora the Explorer it came out in 2000. But first time because they did reference the internet and all that, they had the little mouse arrow. So, first time I got introduced to it was, I would say, 2002, maybe 03, but I definitely want to say 2002 because I know I was in high school, and I do remember mentioning it a few times back when me and Case were doing our role plays, and I remember there was one time I mentioned about, hey, what happens if Vegeta flies into Dora the Explorer from Dragon Ball Z? It's like seriously?
I've heard of Dora the Explorer, but I haven't watched the episode because I didn't have cable.
Oh yeah, but there was a few times that there was one time a while back ago they did show a Dora special. I forgot what it was called, but it was on a regular station because I watched it here at the house, and we didn't have because in my case we only had cable at my grandparents' house. So, but I was able to watch it here at the house. So it was on a regular station. This very special episode of Dora. Yeah. Which I thought it was going to be like a 1 hour special, but it was just 30 minutes though.
Oh, I bet it would have been nice if it was a 1 hour special.
Yeah, sort of like what they should have done with Forever Red in the 10th anniversary Power Ranger special.
Heck, why not make a TV movie?
You don't think they had that in mind?
A TV movie?
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you got to deal with companies and stuff. That's funding. Yeah, so. But there was that, so yeah. That's pretty much my history with Dora. Then of course this movie was advertised. Oh yeah, and I do also know about. I know there probably was more stuff than that, but only other thing I know about other than Dora the Explorer was Dora and Friends, where she was a little older. I think the part of the movie where she's a teenager sort of references that, even though in Dora and Friends she's more like, probably like 8, 9, or 10, or possibly a middle schooler, I'm not sure. But I think the part where Dora's a teenager in this live action movie is sort of referencing that because of the fact of her making friends. She has friends. That's why they call it Dora and Friends.
Not just making friends, but also just trying to fit
in the city. And then plus it was also kind of in the city area. And like the movie, she didn't have boobs with her, and I don't think I recall ever seeing Swiper at any point in that series. So yeah, so that happened. However, one thing I gotta admit before we go into this is that when the trailer for this movie first dropped and everything, I was like, no, this cannot be good, because first thing I kind of came to my mind was that College Humor skit, and a lot of you probably know about it. That College Humor skit that had Dora sort of like Tomb Raider, like really adult-like and everything, and yeah. It wasn't really all that, at least to me, wasn't all that good, and that was like, because that's not what I expect out of Dora. At least that's what I was thinking in terms of like, okay, why y'all gonna put Lara Croft Tomb Raider on her? I'm thinking like you know, a live action movie should be like, you know, this is the first ever movie she got, especially on the big screen. I'm thinking, you know, hey, let's have, you know, like maybe how she first became an explorer, and you know how in the Explorer show there's like fairies and magic animals and stuff like that. That's what I was expecting to see, you know.
I also had lower expectations when I saw the trailer. That I was hoping that it would just bomb. That people prefer the animated version of Dora better than the live action.
You was kind of hoping for the Last Airbender effect, huh?
In a way, sort of. Well, just like I thought about the second Jumanji movie, I was hoping it would bomb because it's been like over 10 years.
Yeah, and that's...
Well, more like over 20 because Jumanji was back in the 90s.
Yeah, and that turned out pretty good there. And much like that second Jumanji, well, apparently Dora surprised us there. Nickelodeon Studios was behind it, and one big sigh of relief is that we didn't have to worry about Michael Bay behind it. I think that was just like a rumor that was going out, but I mean, that was like art. Some people be making these hoax videos, or sometimes there's some people out there that will make hoax articles and they be looking real, and you don't know it until later. Well, yeah, they had like Michael Bay produce a Dora the Explorer, because even Double Toasted was believing it.
If Michael Bay did direct Dora the Explorer, I know he would cast somebody he would cast Dora as an adult and make her sexy.
Yeah, he'd probably give Megan Fox again.
As Dora.
Yeah, I have nothing against Megan Fox, you know, she's Megan Fox. She did, she was okay with Ninja Turtles. I mean, a lot of people didn't really like that for April. It was just okay, you know. It wasn't no Bayformers, so that was Nickelodeon was in charge of that movie, and they was able to sort of save that movie. but yeah, no, don't put her as no Dora the Explorer, please don't. Because I do not need to see the scenes of Dora in that type of format.
And who's gonna be her Diego, The Rock?
Oh Lord, or either. I see what you're
because
saying.
The muscle.
Okay, yeah. So good thing we didn't get any of that. We didn't get no college humor. Some people are saying that this movie was done as a result of the college humor skit, which, if that was the case, I still find that hard to believe, because it seemed like if you're doing it off of a college humor skit, it's probably not going to be as good as it is. So yeah, it actually turned out really faithful to the source material. And they sort of took a page from Grow Up Timmy Turner in the way it was set up, because of the fact that they had Dora as a teenager.
Yeah.
So they, I know Drake Bell was playing an adult Timmy Turner, but still, but remember, he was supposed to be acting like he was still a kid to keep his fairly odd parents. So in Dora's case, that's just how she is. You know, she was still childlike, which allowed her to portray a lot of how, you know, the animated character is, even as a teenager.
Imagine me as Dora, the older version.
I actually did that in FaceApp.
Yeah.
I did that. I actually dubbed your head on there in FaceApp.
Yes. She can also be naive.
Yeah, in a way. And if y'all have seen an earlier video, it's a better explanation behind Dora's actions in the live action movie, and it might possibly be, it could be also applied to the animated series too, that Dora is a bit autistic there, on the spectrum there. I actually suspected that a little bit and looked it up on Google first, and they talking about, oh, she Down syndrome. Like, okay.
She don't look Down syndrome.
Yeah, well, okay, technically, you know, like, you know, everybody gonna be kind of different. So there's not a specific look for Down syndrome for everybody there. But now, according to that TikTok video that I shared with you guys, yeah, that was more proof of what I was suspecting at first there, because Google just had matter of fact, it wasn't even a full page, just 2 paragraphs. Say Down syndrome and ADHD. That's why they have to repeat everything on the map.
Yeah.
And that was it. Not much evidence. I'm going with the one that got video footage. So, yeah, that's actually an interesting thing. And looking at it after learning that, I actually could see that more, especially comparing how she acted in the movie to Nicole on TikTok. You know, a lot of the ways that she behaves, you know, in her videos on TikTok. Sound of the Forest. Dora seemed to have a lot of that in her, the way, especially like her love for animals, similar to Nicole, like insects there. Like the boa she had around her neck in one scene. Dora, you have a boa on your neck. Yeah, it's a boa for a belly.
What's next, a cobra?
Yeah, I would advise you not to put a cobra around your neck.
It might end up choking you and possibly sting you.
Yeah, with those fangs. Boa could possibly do the same, but I guess but apparently, you know, some people are able to tame those. Pretty much like how you see sometimes people come up with a pet lion sometimes. It happens.
I think there might have been a YouTube, some random YouTuber might have a pet puma.
Yeah, I could believe that, because Jamie Foxx had that going.
A puma?
Yeah, when they all got all that money and Jamie Foxx bought him a puma for some reason.
A real puma?
Well, that's what we were supposed to imply, because they did play the roar.
Some people might keep a cobra as a pet.
Yeah, you have some snake keepers now.
Yeah, it won't surprise me if they kept a cobra.
It's possible. Yeah, but this is me. Way over there is the cobra. That's my distance from the cobra, because I am not about to. I ain't about to get bit.
If it was me with the cobra, I would just scream and run. I would just jump and run.
Jump, yeah, man. You see it should jump up, be like jump up like Scooby on Shaggy, and then I run holding her.
Especially if the cobra touched my leg.
Oh no! You probably have to look. Well, let's just hope that don't happen. There's a thing when cobras are that close to you. I've seen them, and I've heard from people, and also seen in movies. Like we'll be very still or something like that. But yeah, let's just hope we're never in that situation.
At least we're not in the jungle.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we can see them coming and be able to get away where they won't get that close to us. So let's slither into the reviews. First thing we have to note. Everything you're about to see is true, except foxes don't swipe. That is a hurtful stereotype. But this has been brought to you by the Fox Council of America. Gracias. That was they opened the movie up with that, and that was actually it's pretty funny to hear that. However, I just wonder why something like that wasn't thought of as Utopia. Seemed like that would have went well with Nick's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how that whole talk about him being stereotyped because he was a fox.
As well as a predator.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm surprised they didn't come up with that for that movie. So after that, you actually get the door opening right at the beginning of the movie, almost like you're about to go right into an episode of it, live action style, because it starts off with Dora as a little 6-year-old. Her and Diego, both kids like they are in the show. Swinging on vines and driving through the car, and you even see the talking backpack in the map. I'm a talking backpack, and I'm a map with a mouth. And of course, Swiper the Fox.
And I thought we would get this for the entire movie, but after they showed the title, it's just reality came in.
Yeah, it turns out Dora spent every episode of the Dora the Explorer series that we've seen has all been in her imagination.
And it was all in her head.
Right. Although I guess you could say that's the way it is for this universe of Dora, possibly. Unless they find some way to connect Dora and friends. Because, like I say, the big difference between later in the movie is her becoming a teenager, which is much older than she is even in Dora and Friends. So, yeah, I think that this could be counted as another universe, sort of like going into Scooby-Doo: The Mystery Begins, where him and Shaggy first met, but you don't have any acknowledgement of a pup named Scooby-Doo. Are we ignoring the pup named Scooby-Doo? So yeah, it's all in their head there. And Boots and I like how Boots is animated. He doesn't talk. Well, at least there is. Well, we'll get to that. There is a scene where he does talk, but yeah, apparently him being able to talk is part of Dora's imagination. However, the animation done for him reminds me a lot of Abu from Aladdin.
It's like they have a real life monkey but painted blue.
Yeah, and they seem like look like the monkeys in movies like these. Despite them being realistic, they like, especially like I mentioned, it's like Abu. You notice the expressions come up really loud.
Yeah. Imagine Michael Jackson with Boots.
I guess that Boots meets Bubbles. Bubbles!
And they could be friends.
Yeah, God rest his soul.
And you could just add Abu too.
Yeah, if he was still around, he'd be able to experience that. He was 2009. Yeah, he was. So if he was still alive now, oh boy, he'd be in his 60s by now.
Oh yeah, if he was still alive.
I
know he died at 50.
Right. So yeah, he'd be in his 60s by this point. Yep. Be sort of like Samuel L. Jackson still playing Nick Fury. So they even relating to the cartoon, they even do stuff like the talking to the audience, pretty much like they do, like Dora would do in the Nick Jr. show. Like say for instance, can you see anything that's the color pink? There, say pink. or I guess how pink would be pronounced in Spanish there. But they say delicioso. So it does. Now the only thing that does kind of make that you do sort of wonder, and people probably have a lot of theories behind this. Since we know she's using her imagination, but who do you think she's imagining that she's saying it to, though? That's, like, is there like a lot of kids have imaginary friends, Is it one individual imaginary friend, or is she actually imagining a crowd there?
It might be a crowd.
That's possible there. Wait, if that's the case, does that mean that any of us watching the show are part of her imagination?
We might be.
Is all this her imagination? That was a little joke from the critic when he did Thomas the Tank Engine, and Alec Baldwin was like, "Oh, did you leave all this here for me? How kind of you. Oh, you must have knew I was coming." Am I Alec Baldwin's delusion? Is all this Alec Baldwin's delusion? Okay.
I know people have moments when they just talk to themselves.
Oh yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dora talking now. Yeah, I'm joking earlier, but yeah, Dora talking to herself. That's not too different from anybody. I mean, shoot, grown folks do that too. Just ask Mr. Brown. I said to myself saying, I said, you know you're right. Like that. Medea talks to herself and the audience. So, and we all know we're in the middle of a series that I'm currently that me and the Black Nerd are doing good reviews for. She-Hulk talks to the audience. He doesn't really mean it. Wait, who are you talking to? and don't forget, and Deadpool and Raphael from the Ninja Turtles. Some people just can't deal with change. Know what I mean? Why do you keep doing that? Who are you talking to? There's no one there. We got a lot of fourth wall breakers. It almost makes you question the universe itself.
Imagine your characters have a fourth wall break.
I did that a few times there. I've done that, and I think Zayden is about to do it in an issue.
Oh yeah.
When Julie puts an orange slice in his mouth and tells him, "Stop flirting and eat your food," and he looks at the readers like, "She wants me." Yeah. So yeah, it's nothing uncommon. So everybody got their imaginary friends there. So there's a lot of time on that one. So eventually, Diego leaves has to leave for the city, of course. And Dora remains in the jungle, and 10 years pass by, and we get apparently she's still doing her exploring even as a teenager. And I think I don't mean this to be a bad thing or not. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but I just gotta be honest. She seemed for this movie, she seemed like she portrayed the character of Dora more so as a teenager than she did as a kid.
She did.
Look like, and that could be because it could have to do with the actors.
Yeah.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong, kids they do a good job.
Yeah.
But but the older you get, the better you usually get at that kind of thing, and just anything in general. Yeah, you're gonna get better at something as you get older. So, not saying to harp on the kids acting though. Yeah. They someone probably showed them, okay, yeah, this is how Dora acts. Okay, we want you to do this. And they did it. But I think being that Isabella, being the age she is and doing acting probably for however long she's done it, yeah, matter of fact, this is a better role for her than what Michael Bay had her in Transformers.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, last night, whatever that was supposed to be. At least you got your check for that, Isabella, and you got discovered for a good movie. So.
Hey everybody, I watched Transformers last night. That was the same time I had about a week back. My back was so weak from watching it. Last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to figure out what in the world he was talking about. So So yeah, like I mentioned, yeah, it definitely is taking a page from Grow Up Timmy Turner, and being that it's produced by Nickelodeon, as probably some people that worked on Timmy Turner's movie probably worked on this movie with other people, of course, yeah. So of course, and also I already mentioned about the CGI with Boots, yeah.
I think the reason why she called her monkey Boots because her monkey always wear red boots all the time.
Yeah, in the show, they did show him with the boots on in the beginning of the movie there. And Mom was like, Dora, could you please stop putting boots on him? Monkeys are not supposed to wear boots.
What's next, a wig?
Depends on the wig there. It all depends on the wig. Yep, so of course, a little bit later in the movie, after seeing her as a teenager, Dora's parents decide to send her to the city to live with Diego in order to help with her social skills and make friends, which is also hinting at, what we mentioned about the fact that she's autistic. And on top of that, one thing that was pointed out by the person in that video, that she didn't know how to mask there. So when she got there, she pretty much was being doing what she how she acted and everything. Because most as Nicole stated in TikTok, a lot of time growing up with autistic person growing up and going to school and everything like that as a kid and stuff, they a lot of time will mask and basically no more to say, trying to be what they think is normal to the other kids,
It's like masking your true feelings.
Pretty much, yes. And that masking kind of helps sometimes, but a lot of time it can backfire because as I'm just gonna say, Robert Williams Jr. say, be yourself.
Yeah.
So, now while sometimes being yourself can have some disadvantages too, I think, in my perspective, I think being yourself would probably be less of an issue than trying to be something else that you're not in most cases. Yeah, because and then you have to also use your judgment on what choice you make.
Not only that, but people forcing you to be a certain way.
Yeah, that's kind of a no-no. You don't
force a person to change.
Right. Now, it's one thing to give suggestions and advice, to help people out, but trying to force them to do something. That's like somebody that has no idea how to play basketball and forcing them to play basketball. Yeah. That's not going to end well.
Or forcing them to do a certain career, like music, for example, even though they have a different point in mind, that they just want to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, there's that. Or good example, or either like say somebody like myself wanting to be a comic book writer, and people looking down on that and looking down on that, thinking that that's like, what is that? Yep. Which that's a little reference from our Titanic review.
Yeah.
What y'all got against artists? So one and then another thing that we know is when she gets there and everything to the city, she displays a lot more autistic traits, like when she sleeps, like instead of sleeping in her bed, she goes sleep outside. Not necessarily saying that every autistic person would go sleep outside, but it sort of references how sometimes they will do some unusual things like that. Like in Nicole's case, she say her grandmother would come in and find her sleeping under the bed sometime, or sleeping like these two chairs here.
Yeah.
Sleeping pressed between two chairs, because in some cases, you know, they're trying. There's a certain pressure point that that you know that makes them feel comfortable. So that's why things are out now, like weighted blankets and those and like the hammocks she be in sometimes.
I know there was one scene that she kept that candy bar for that Diego and her split in half 10 years ago, and it was moldy, and she ate it.
Yeah, I think when she ate it, she probably realized that wasn't such a good idea. It did. I kind of could. Because she didn't really. Her expression didn't go like that, but I kind of could see a little bit like, it might not be too good. It looked more like it was like somebody when they're uncomfortable with something when she ate it. So yeah, she probably thought it was gonna be good, but it wasn't. Sort of like I thought crab cake was gonna be good.
Some people call crab cake some mackerel. They call it mackerel.
Holy mackerel!
Yeah, I think my grandmother force-fed it to me one time.
Yeah, that'd be another example of the force thing. Yeah.
Yeah, put it in my mouth, even though I don't like it.
Yeah, because that's going to result in, yeah, then you're going to have to clean that up off the plate.
Or you might just hit the person.
As cool cats say, that is a major no-no. So yeah, and much like Dora talking to the audience and saying delicioso, she also does some other things from the Nick Jr. show. She sings there the different songs like back, 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 back. And if there's a place you wanna go and there's a place you wanna be, I'm the map, I'm the map, I'm the map. Yep. And she even there was one point where Diego asked like, "Why are you singing? It help him remember things." Yeah, so they really, Nickelodeon really did some good adaptations of, you know, pulling from the source material and arranging it into, you know, into some new creative ways for this movie. Yeah, that actually was a pretty good idea there, since, you know, they were going the route of her being autistic there. Now of course, as much as I'm praising this movie, there is some there is a few nitpicks. Oh no, he's gonna complain. Just hear me out. Like the critics say when he was mentioned by James the Giant Peach and had all these Photoshop guns at him. Hear me out. So, my first nitpick would be the metal detector scene. Now, don't get me wrong. I actually did get a laugh out of this, especially more so in the movie than the trailer, because, like I mentioned, I didn't think the movie was gonna be good when I saw the trailer. But looking at it full play in the movie, yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny, because when I saw it in the trailer, I was thinking like, wait, why would she have this stuff? This not what Dora has in the Nick Jr. show. But then looking at the movie, I thought some more about that stuff that they showed. And I thought, okay, wait, if they're making her an explorer, like a real life explorer, and she's out there like in the jungle and stuff like that, any person like her that's, you know, like an archaeologist and camper and stuff like that, they're going to have equipment like that.
It'll be a lot worse if she tried to bring a knife or a gun, especially a gun.
Well, she didn't have the gun. She didn't go that far. But there is a knife she brings later. But it's pretty much again like camping supply. You know, because or either like say camping, hunting, they do carry stuff like some knives on them.
Yeah.
You know, just like sometimes if they got cut vines or something like that. So everything she had on her was pretty legit. Now, obviously, you wouldn't bring this stuff to school, but yeah, it was pretty legit for an explorer.
And she also got a yo-yo.
That yo-yo. That is the most deadliest weapon. And apparently, I don't know if Dora knows about Star Tropics. Well, maybe not because she's been in the jungle a lot. But yeah, Dora, that yo-yo is very useful in Star Tropics. I played that game in Nintendo. I don't know if anybody else watching this ever know about this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing that game myself, that yo-yo.
You can poke somebody with the yo-yo.
Oh yes, and it can be useful in real life, as Michelangelo showed us in Ninja Turtles. Around the world. But now my only nitpick about it there is it seemed like her folks would have told her, you know, probably like, you know, what to bring to school, and probably, you know, this is her first day at school. Seemed like they would have, you know, briefed her on, you know, at least that part. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff that there's probably some stuff that they probably didn't tell her right off from the first day, but at least you think they would have told her that.
Yeah.
Or even Diego, but then again, maybe, and of course, movie convenience, you know, because they wanted to get a laugh. But then again, maybe they didn't think about that at the time. Maybe it didn't cross their mind, you know, and they probably didn't. They probably didn't really suspect Dora would have that stuff in her backpack in the first place. So yeah, I mean, if you don't know, yeah, how you gonna think to tell somebody you don't even know? Yeah, that you don't, that you're not even suspecting, you know. Yeah. But I think, however, if it wasn't a movie, I think somebody would have said something though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know my folks would have told me on my first. Matter of fact, no, I take that back. First, if I was in Dora's position and that was my first day, yeah, my folks would have said something, knowing how my folks are.
And all that shenanigan with the metal detectors caused all the students to be late.
Yeah, kind of, sort of there. Kind of, sort of. Well, yeah, I guess some of them probably are. I know the bell that rang at first was just like a warning bell, and then the second bell was the class, because we see Sammy Moore, the supposed mean girl, out selling cupcakes still.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't quite time for class, but yeah, it was kind of like that. Okay, y'all get on the school grounds. The class about to start in a minute. So yeah, so about Sammy Moore now. We done got into that early. Yeah, they run into her. Diego describes her as not being such a good person. And what's really interesting about this movie is, you know, the first thing you think about when you think of the mean girl of the movie is you're going to think of a cheerleader or somebody who's just really diva, like Sharpay. Sharpay in high school, she wasn't a cheerleader per se, but, you know, she was in theater and she was very, theater diva there, you know, had all the flashy Prada and stuff like that. That's
the most popular girl in school.
That's what would come to your mind with a mean girl in typical fashion. But in this case, no, they didn't do that. They just had sort of an average Joe type of girl. But I know that's usually used for guys, the average Joe term. But
she could be an average Jane.
Okay, Jane. Now, she was just pretty much a plain Jane, I guess you would say. Because she didn't have like no excessive makeup on her or anything there. You could even see like a little birthmark on her and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a plain Jane. She was a plain Jane and was just like she was a kind of a brainiac there. But apparently, what starts her rivalry with Dora is, oh my goodness, this girl is smarter than me.
What?
Yeah.
And she was jealous.
And also because of Dora's behavior with the nerdiness, like, okay, what is the deal with this girl?
It sort of bothers me.
Pretty much, yeah. So, and then of course, okay, sorry about that little jump cut there. Like now we're starting like the Chester A. Bum. Oh my God, the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. Okay, I mentioned all about Sammy Moore. Once they get inside the school, they on the way to class they meet Randy, who in the video mentioned before was stated to be was it I forgot that word.
I forgot to. I think it starts with neural.
Well, if it watch the previous video, it is stated there. But yeah, like you said, neuro. It started with neuro, and it is sort of related with autism too. There. But he sort of lists when they see it. Neurodivergent, yeah.
Neurodivergent.
Okay, yeah, I saw it in here. It's misspelled, but I recognize what it's supposed to be. So yeah, listening to the headphones and funny the way Dora gets his attention, like nudging him there, sort of reminds me of when I come into Kroger and I have to nudge my boy Josh from the Patreon DBZ video I made. Make sure y'all sign up on Patreon to see that film. And really that's not a real picture of him. That's somebody else in his place because he don't like his picture taken. But he'd be having them headphones to his phone. And I'd be like, Josh, what? What's up, man?
It's like he's in another world.
Yeah, that's why I don't do headphones on my job, because I know when you put them headphones on, yes, you do go to another world, and it happened to me. So I know what's on the other end of those headphones. But so like we mentioned before, yeah, Sammy is kind of upset about Dora, being as smart as she is, and also just kind of the way Dora seems to behave with it. She thinks that Dora's trying to show her up, even though that's not the case. Dora's just being herself. Like teacher asks her a question. Oh, I'll tell you the answer. Just basic, common question and answer. And I noticed when the teacher was asking like where Dora was from and stuff like that, and said the jungle. The student and I like to read a lot of books. Dorka. And a lot of the kids went to laughing. Surprisingly, Sammy was the only one that didn't laugh. But she just looked at Dora like, almost like the priests and Pharisees when they would be staring at Jesus while he was preaching, wondering what he was all about. Yeah, that's that. She was studying, what is the deal with Dora here? Which that was kind of interesting there. Yeah. And she sort of made the way she portrayed the Mean Girl thing sort of made me think of the Mean Girls and Power Rangers 2017 movie, how they were treating Kimberly there. And ironically, just like that movie, they had a scene in the girls' room too. Right by the mirrors. Then you cut to the winter dance, where also explained in that earlier video.
I know in the banners say the winter dance, dress up as your favorite star, and I think star refers to your favorite celebrity. And Dora took it literally by dressing up as the sun.
Right, because the sun is the biggest star in the solar system there.
What's next, the moon?
And also Randy did it too. He just had a t-shirt that said hydrogen, which is, what the stars are made of there. Gas, stuff like that. Yeah. And she does, and much like when she starts dancing, you know, doing like the peacock, which makes me wish Carlton was there to see that peacock dance.
Hey, imagine her dressing up like a chicken.
Well, girl, you really want to get on me with that chicken now.
Yeah.
You and that chicken. You said that chicken after all time we were watching that scene.
Yeah. Well, chickens are funny at times.
Oh my God. I think what she was doing was pretty. Oh boy. Well, I think what it is. Well, okay, never mind. I was about to say maybe she was doing the jungle animals. I'm not sure. If peacocks in the jungle?
Peacocks tend to be in the forest. I think they're forest animals.
Maybe she might have been to some forest at some point. Yeah. Like I said, I know they're I know they're on the jungle, but maybe they might have went to a forest at some point during those 10 years. And Diego is, of course, kind of embarrassed by all this, and this sort of leads to a scene where he sort of has he doesn't like yell at Dora there, but he is pretty stern in his voice, and you can tell he's really upset. And he's not actually even trying to be mean or anything, even though it does come off that way. But you can look at his face, and it sort of makes you think of Shrek from when he was upset thinking that Fiona didn't like him. And remember Shrek was talking to Dora, like, yeah, I heard what you said. You're great pals, right? But what now, if you're such great friends, why don't you go follow her home? And you can see in his face, amongst the anger, him trying to hold back tears. And that's the way it looked like with Diego. Like he was, his eyes were real big when he would face her. And before he faced her, he was trying to he kept his head turned away from her until the last line of dialogue when he just finally just turned and faced her and had eyes real wide there.
Reminds me of a concerned father.
Yeah, it's also kind of, and speaking of fathers, sort of make you think of Triton from The Little Mermaid there.
Yes. A mix of sad and angry.
Yeah, so yeah, she is definitely, you definitely, some people watching this probably think that Diego's being mean, but we're just saying it's not that, like because he even states it earlier in the movie when he's actually is trying to, like he tells Dora, I'm just trying to help you have a good first day. Because, like I say, that's one thing about it, he's, the way he looks at it with high school is, we gotta survive.
I know we heard the saying, people tend to get angered that they say stuff that they don't even mean. In Diego's case, he said what he means.
Yeah, but then but I think what sort of made him even more so down was the fact, that he had to say it to Dora, and, it was hurting him to have to say that to her.
He was just being honest.
Yeah, just like you mentioned with the concerned parent thing.
Yeah, the truth can't hurt.
And like they always say, it hurts. Sometimes it hurts the person doing it more so than the person they're doing it to. Yep. However, Dora does get comforted by her grandmother there that night. There, there's a very interesting line which say, "Grandma, we're a weirdo. We're not more than anyone else." That wasn't a no. Yeah, but Grandma kind of has a point there, Dora. Let's face it. This ain't a thing of autism, Down syndrome, anything. Everybody in this world got something strange about them. Everybody got something strange about them.
I know there are children out there who would also say, "Am I ugly or am I stupid?"
Oh no, I definitely would tell you no to that. There.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Now, when you mentioned the super, it made me think of my dad when I passed my GED test. I was like, I passed, and Dad said, "I knew you passed it." Oh, what? The principal told you? No, I didn't know. I was like, no, but I know. I was like, I just knew it.
Like, it's better to encourage your child instead of discourage them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And don't call them, and they will say, "Am I a loser?" And you're not a loser either.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, So then after that, they go to a museum for, class trip, where Dora ends up getting captured along with Diego, Sammy, and Randy by accident. Because they're really after Dora, and the other three accidentally end up getting caught up in it there.
Yeah.
And however, they're rescued by a friend of Dora's parents, and I do have his name in here. I'll say it when I get to it.
Yeah.
But he does, because he didn't state it right away when he first appeared. However, as they escape, they're pursued by none other than Swiper the Fox. Now, a lot of people wonder, how was Swiper real all of a sudden if, all the stuff earlier was supposed to be Dora's imagination? Well, I don't think Swiper was really part of her imaginary world. I think he actually was a real fox that probably had some boots and mask that he probably stole from somebody at some point a while back, and that's why he was wearing them. So yeah, and probably he was just out there trying to take stuff from Dora and Diego when they were kids. But as they were playing, they got lucky and managed to foil them. Oh man!
So let's just say Swiper does look funny in his live action form.
Especially when he's running.
Yeah.
But when he's running out the door in one sleeve,
or standing guard.
I'm guarding the gate. I'm guarding the gate. And also some other people with. Oh my goodness! Why did you put that?
What?
I don't know how that got in there, but for some reason this thing got me saying, well, as Woody would say, something that I wouldn't say amongst preschool toys. Yeah, I don't know how that got in here, but yeah, somehow that happened.
Well, when we are talking about Dora.
Yeah, but it ain't that kind of movie though.
I know.
Yeah. However, so over that now, it's almost like that Curious George scene when he said, "Hey, the lines on the road are painted for a reason." Bum, bum, bum. I'm not sure I can physically do that. Enough said. So, also why Dora's looks at the because Double Toasted was really scratching their heads about this one. Corey had a major criticism on that one. How come she didn't know Swiper if they seen him before when she was a kid? Well, answer to that, they probably just forgot about him after 10 years. They probably have forgotten about him there. And in Dora's case, being autistic, yeah, that is possible to happen. And in Diego's case, just the fact that he's grown up a bit, he probably wasn't really thinking about a lot of the stuff, from way back then.
I know Dora has not forgot about Boots.
Well, obviously, because, Boots was still with her when she was a teenager, though. Yeah, but so Swiper probably disappeared at some point after Diego left.
Well, Swiper was a thief. I think he just left. He just left in order to find someplace else to sleep.
Oh yeah, and also there's the ability that Swiper's able to talk. I thought at first this was something just for the audience to hear him, but you notice Dora responds to him, and also the leader of the bad guys responds to him. So another theory I have for that, Dora and I guess the bad guy probably just have that same ability Dr. Dolittle has.
Talk to animals.
Yeah. That's all I got. Hey, hey, look at the universe we're in for this movie, so I don't think that'd be too far-fetched to believe. So, you mentioned about, and one thing about Swiper's movement being so funny, it made me think of the Planters Peanut guy when he'd be dancing in the old commercials, even though when I was a kid, that scared the heck out of me because I thought he was in the house. But looking at it now, I just laugh. And Dora got some moves like Black Widow when she went up against Swiper.
I know when Swiper was fell down to the ground, I think he was flattened. Either flattened or just got.
I think
slammed.
he was sticking up from them some kind of crates or something.
Oh yeah.
Oh man!
Ouch.
I'm stuck.
Yeah.
And I do like the fact that they gave Swiper, a voice actor that is Spanish as well. There, nothing against his old voice actor from the cartoon. Oh man! But it is good to see, them, going with the ethnicity that, the Dora is and everything. Sort of like with the live action Aladdin, they got, actual Arabia and everything. So yeah, I'm definitely cool with that there because got more Spanish in it there. So it turns out this guy that rescued Dora and the gang is Alejandro.
It's Alejandro.
Alejandro.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna say AJ. I'm just gonna say AJ is Algero, but I'm just gonna call him AJ.
Alejandro.
Alejandro. I'll call him AG. It's the initials. That's the initials of his name.
Yeah.
So AG wants Dora's help to find and save her parents, and they also find boots along the way. And as they continue searching, we get to a major nitpick of this movie. If I was writing this movie, I would not have this scene in there at all. They have it looked like somebody played Russian roulette to see who we're gonna put in this embarrassing scene. Sammy! She ends up having to do number 2. I haven't pooped for 48 hours. I got really to. Don't look at me like that. Cover your ears. Well, you should have asked us to cover your ears before you said poop for several times.
That's like losing your dignity.
Yeah, and I don't blame in that situation. I don't blame her for feeling the way she does. Because, like I say, I don't feel like they should have wrote that in there. Because nobody else has mentions like there's no scene of Dora having to do it. There's no scene of Diego or AG or even Randy.
I think they already relieved themselves before they ended up in the jungle.
And then they added the line, I haven't gone for 48 hours. So that means that there were 2 days before they even got to the jungle that she was like this.
I guess she didn't eat enough.
Well, like I say, it was a completely unnecessary scene. Cause I know in real life you gotta go regardless of where you're at. But yeah, for movie sake, you don't have to write everything. There are some things we can't suspend our disbelief for,
And Dora singing about the poo hole and made a poo hole for her.
For her to sit in and...
more like squat.
Yeah, and I could like I said, I know Dora was trying to cheer her up and everything, but yeah, and like I say, nothing against Dora. She wasn't aware of she probably was, but yeah, like Timon and Pumbaa, she was trying to make good of a bad situation,
I know if I was in Sammy's position, I would just relieve it before I ended up in that situation.
Or at least before she got to the museum.
Yeah, I would relieve.
Because none of them knew they were going to be kidnapped. But yeah, I would have went before leaving for that museum. Yeah. So yeah, they probably shouldn't have wrote that in there. It was just not to mention that later they get arrows rain and what really makes it unnecessary to be in this movie is she has to quickly finish, pull up her pants, and run with the rest of them while arrows are raining down on them.
And there's no toilet paper.
Which means that she's running around with a dirty behind.
Oh. I know that was an uncomfortable experience.
And she did not, and I know later she gets character development and stuff like that, even if she stayed a mean girl throughout the whole movie, she did not. Even a mean girl does not deserve that.
There's no saying, I wouldn't wish that on my enemies.
It was like, come on, Nicola, you didn't have to do that to that girl. Yeah.
Imagine she was black.
She didn't need to have that done. Black, white, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. And it kind of also makes me think of a scene from Boondock, which I hate, as I stated before. But the only reason I know about this scene is because one of my co-workers showed it to us while we were in the break room. Scene where the grandpa was doing his business, number 2, and all of a sudden this lawyer guy comes in and he's possessed by some demon and attacks grandpa. And
I'm guessing he ran out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Unwiped.
Well, yeah, you're being attacked by a demon. Yeah, you're gonna take. Yeah, you ain't gonna take no time to get no Charmin. You're gonna try to get away from. You're gonna try to get the heck out of there.
Yeah, I bet his pants were still down. Or
yeah, well, yeah, like that's why. But that's why Nickelodeon shouldn't have had that scene in there. So of course, after all that, yeah, Sammy just has a complete meltdown, and you might think that she's being petty, which she's even self-aware of that. Like, I know that sounds petty, but I gotta say, trust me, her meltdown is completely legit. Because seeing the earlier scene, yeah, it's almost like she's even yelling at the people who worked on the movie. Yeah. And Dora still trying to make light of a good situation. And like I said, I understand where Dora's coming from, but yeah, it's sort of one of those no-win situations, kind of, because yeah, I had to run from arrows with a dirty behind. So yes, I'm angry. Yeah. And like Diego earlier, Dora, like, okay. It almost makes me think of SpongeBob when that guy yelled at him about no drink with his pizza. SpongeBob. And he just broke down. Now, of course, in Dora's case, she doesn't like break down bawling. But you know she's sad though.
Let's just say I've been there myself. I have past experiences when I get yelled at, and I try to hold it in until I find somewhere private and broke down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know about that. I know about holding in the cry because I've done it several times as a little kid, holding in my cry, and it backfires on me a lot. And I don't think I was as fortunate as you. I just bust out, and I still be in front of people.
Yeah, well, I'm successful at it, find somewhere private, but sometimes it backfires myself.
I don't think I ever was there. Yeah. Because I definitely remember the Gabe, stop all that crying.
Yeah, there are times I'm afraid to cry in front of my dad.
Well, like I said, yeah, we definitely can relate to Dora there. She may not have broke down bawling, but yeah, just the fact of being sad in general, been there.
Yeah.
And Diego and after all that they've gone through, Diego definitely tries to cheer her up. And let's just say him cheering her up and also telling her, hey, look, I know Sammy was kind of rough on you, but she's not really that bad. Her spirits are lifted up pretty quickly because she gets the impression that, which it actually does be true, you have attraction for her. It's really common in times of a dire situation of danger that the mating is like, please stop. I mean, So, ironic that she was in the last night of Bayformers, because now she's referencing the first Bayformers movie when Ratchet said, "The boy's pheromone level suggests he wants to mate with the female." And everybody
shrug it off.
Yeah, and everybody in the audience was going like, ooh. Yeah, that was the only Bayformers movie I saw in theater, was the first one. Because I didn't know what I was in for. I didn't know no better back then. So yeah, then they get cheered up and everything, and Sammy even apologizes a lot quicker to Dora than I was expecting, but that is impressive though, because it is impressive because like I say, as mad as she was, I thought it would have taken a little longer,
Yeah, especially in real time.
Yeah, and most of the time it does, but I gotta give you, So Diego had a point. She really isn't that bad, to be honest. There, especially not only getting to know her, but I guess in her case now getting to know, everybody else like Dora. She's actually seeing that Dora's not that bad of a person. Still kind of strange, but she's not. But she's actually a really nice person, and she's not trying to show nobody up. She's just trying to get along with people. And it looked like Sammy started to see that there, especially after this scene when they go to a field of spore flowers, and it causes them to hallucinate, and they start seeing themselves as the Nick Jr. animated versions
with bigger heads.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then of course one other nitpick. Stop groaning. The nitpick is that AG, when all of them are hallucinating, he for some reason thinks that he can go into his birthday suit.
Now it reminds me of Bandit Keith when he was in mind control by Merritt, and except he still has his cloak on.
Oh,
but he couldn't take the mind control anymore. Then he just ran out of the building.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
And also this scene is more played for laughs and humor there.
Yeah.
Whereas in Bandit Keith, it was almost like he stepped out of a horror movie.
Yeah, get me out of here.
This place is haunted.
Yeah, it sound humorous in the 4Kids version, but in Japanese, he was in a panic.
Pretty much, and actually it was both versions like that, but 4Kids was really trying really hard on the comedy there.
I think in the Japanese version, he just screamed out the building.
Oh yeah.
He just screamed.
Pretty much, yeah. So, however, during this hallucination scene, there is a brief moment where Diego is actually able to give Dora a confidence boost, and they even get even more confidence boost from Sammy and Randy, and then of course they all go back to normal there. But hey, that brief moment was pretty good though. Except for the birthday suit. Yeah, but he runs off camera, and then no.
Now his naked body reminds me of a toddler.
Oh, talking about in the cartoon form.
Yeah, toddler.
Yeah, and then he had to quickly change his birthday suit when they got back to reality. Yeah, don't want to. Yeah, you want to hurry up and change there.
You don't want to scare the kids.
So, after all that, they find Dora's parents, and turns out AG pulls a Judas on them.
Ooh. He was one of the mercenaries.
Yeah. All we need is 30 pieces of silver. So,
but in his case, he just wants the treasure.
So I guess he's getting more than 30 pieces of silver then.
Ooh.
Yeah, so they want to find Parapapa.
Parapapa.
Yeah, I think that's how they say it.
Parapapa.
I remember Berlizzi made it sound like something from McDonald's when he said it.
Yeah.
Ba-da-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
So Dora, however, Dora and the kids are able to escape. However, Dora breaks down out of fear, believing that she's going to fail, because of the danger, because how the danger has escalated. But that's when Boots talks for that one scene to give her a final confidence boost. And
remind me of Superman when he has a moment he can't say everybody.
Oh yeah. And Boots has a really deep voice. I kind of wish he had his original voice, but it didn't bother me too much there. They probably wanted to get a little small laugh out of it. Yeah, like, ooh, look at it, isn't that funny? He talks like that. And yet another jump cut. Apparently we got more to say about this movie than we surprisingly did with the Titanic. That was like 3 hours long. Yeah, that's kind of odd that this review has more in it than the movies that are longer than this one. I guess it just all depends on the notes there. But okay, so we said about Boots being able to talk. He gives Dora a final confidence boost, and it's pretty similar to what Anzu would do, in Yu-Gi-Oh, when they put their hands together for the friendship mark that she made, the symbol of their friendship. Yeah. So with that boost, they then pursue through a series of mazes and traps, a lot of traps and mazes, and they find the treasure in the golden monkey. Almost kind of like Looney Tunes back in action with the blue monkey diamond.
Yeah. The
blue monkey.
Except it's a golden monkey. Air cake.
Oh yeah. However, AG had been following them, and since they went through all the traps, he was able to just slide on after them. Sort of like those guys did with Yugi's grandpa when they followed him into the Pharaoh's tomb where he found the Millennium Puzzle. So, but when he gets the treasure, he falls into a giant hole, and the Lost Guardians are revealed. Dora pleads for mercy from them, but she pleads for mercy and offers to solve the mystery. And by solving the mystery, she's able to find the treasure, the true treasure, and save the day. So, like as Superman would say, just save the day. Also, there's a deleted scene there. I thought it was a part of the movie, but I don't know why I thought that. But reason I know about it because I saw it on TikTok, so I looked it up in the special features. It's a scene when the Lost Guardians first show up that Randy, like, look, if this is the last time we ever see each other, I just want you to know, Dora, I love you. I love you too, Randy. And I also love Diego and Sammy, my parents. That's exactly what I meant there.
I know he meant love in a romantic way.
Yeah. And yeah, it's understandable Dora's never experienced a crush or anything like that before being, this first time, being around peer group and everything like that.
Or an experience of true love.
Right, so, yeah, true love in that sense, yeah, so. But I'm pretty sure we can assume off screen that they would figure it out. So, and of course, in the end, Diego and Sammy hook up with a kiss. A kiss, of course, and Dora's watching. And she's staring at us. She is. That's how she was looking at them and smile. And after all this, Dora chooses to stay in the city with Diego and her new friends, and they end it with a dancing song called "We Did It." Much similar, also pretty much like Nick Jr. as well. We did it. But in here, oh hooray, we did it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and of course Diego, Sammy, and Randy and all them sort of ad-lib some lines in there.
Yeah.
Say, I guess we could have finished this on the camera there, but I didn't want to take the chance of us saying some closing remarks and it cutting out though. Yeah, I didn't want to take any chances there. So yeah, that's pretty much the movie, and of course they do have they have a post-credit scene of Swiper trying to get the monkey, and the parents say, "Swiper, no swiping." Oh man. Just like the TV show.
And the villain being trapped by the lost guardian.
Oh yeah. I guess he's gonna be there a long time.
And he mentioned like over 1,000 years.
And it doesn't look like they're giving him very good food to eat.
Look like bugs.
Well, Timon and Pumbaa would love that. Well, if you're not gonna eat them, we'll eat them. Yeah, I love grubs.
Well, there's no saying the wicked will get their just rewards, and his just rewards is the bugs.
And being imprisoned by those guardians. Yep. So that was the Dora and the Lost City of Gold, our live-action Dora the Explorer movie, which really proved me wrong big time. I actually was wrong about this movie the first time I heard about it. So yeah, matter of fact, I went and got, after I saw it for myself on Netflix, I was like, wow, this actually is a good movie. I went and got a copy and apologized to it. I am sorry, I thought it was a bad movie. Yeah, sort of like the advice I've told some people about certain shows and movies, like, oh, I don't like it. Well, how come you don't like it? I just don't. And don't really give you a solid reason. Yeah, sometimes you just really need to look at things really closely to really know, like, oh, maybe that was a lot different than I thought it was. So, yeah, take it from my experience with this movie. This movie proved that it was actually could make its the ideal that it had with it work. Yeah. So, how about you, man?
Well, the live-action Dora movie is like Dora in another universe if she was a teenager and trying to fit into the real world on her own. Well, especially having Diego to help her. And let's just say it's not easy. But as time goes on, she's starting to get used to her surroundings. Even though she's still being herself, she's getting used to her surroundings and starting to make new friends along the way. Despite some of them don't get along with her, like Sammy, for example.
Yeah.
But Dora did warm up to Sammy.
Yeah, and I guess you could say they both warmed up to each other there. Because, yeah, on Dora's end, yeah, she really was, like I mentioned before, she was really trying to make light of good situations. Bad situations. And, of course, when she first got into all this, it was a lot of things that she wasn't fully aware of. She did state that she did know, kind of like when Diego mentioned, don't you know they're making fun of you? She did say she was aware of some of this there.
Yeah.
That, I'm not stupid, Diego. But at the same time, she said, but I just gotta be myself. So,
and Diego said, why don't you just act normal for once?
And I think that's what kind of hurt, what kind of struck a chord. I think not only having that said to her, but I think the fact that it came from Diego. And like I mentioned, his thing was trying, hey, surviving high school and doing what the norm is, so we won't get teased and mocked and stuff like that. in a way, he was looking out for her, but much like with Triton, there was. He did sort of have that like kind of questioning how he was going about it there.
I know if I was in Dora's position in that scene, I would just run and run.
Well, she did run. She may have possibly have off screen sobbed a little softly, not like out loud, sort of like the way sort of like Naomi in the book when she woke up in new surroundings at Brownie's house there, and she was in the corner and soft and just she didn't bawl or anything. She was just softly sobbing and was really terrified.
Yeah, I understand how she felt.
Because the whole new surroundings was just overstimulating her. So I think it might have been possible that Dora might have and maybe cried like that, and that's probably. I think Grandma may have heard a little bit of a sniffle from the closet. That's why she knew to look there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I definitely see what you mean by that there.
I know we all need comfort. We all need comfort in our lives.
Oh yeah. Yep, as Carlton say, everybody needs somebody sometimes.
Even though you would say, I'd rather just be alone. I'm better off alone.
Yeah, Shrek said there. Yeah, Shrek said, and the only reason he said that because he felt, with the way people thought about him, that was the best way he could be. He didn't think he had any other option there. That's what he had, after, so many years, he believed that there. So that's why, it was it was so new to him when Donkey was actually accepting him there.
Yeah. At least Donkey was more welcoming.
Yeah, and
same goes with Fiona.
And that's what sort of started to, like, maybe I can be accepted,
Yeah.
And like in Dora's case, she say when she was out in the, before she started, she say, when this happened with, the outburst, stuff like that, she say, it's really, she felt, in the jungle, she felt real comfortable and everything, but now she's out here amongst a whole lot of people and she feels alone because, she's the fish out of water here. So there's a lot of when people are in that situation, that situation can make you feel alone even in a crowd.
Yeah, that's why I was distant.
Especially like in Dora's case, if you're trying to, you're being yourself and just like trying to be cool with people, but they're not taking well to you. Yeah, it's pretty much that kind of thing going on there.
Or in my case, I feel more comfortable just being alone. But when I am in a group of people, certain people, I feel like I don't fit in that type of group. In some situations.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm just an outsider. Like take your family for instance.
Oh, so when you first
got me when I first got married.
Oh yeah.
I feel like just an outsider.
Well, I put it this way: sometime, depending on who it is, with the stuff that I'm into. Yeah. Sometimes it kind of feels that way talking to certain people there. Talking to certain people in general, kind of you get that feeling a little bit off and on there.
Now I feel more comfortable with my mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I I'm not just completely alone.
Well, that's a completely normal there, especially with what you meant about your mother. I mean, you know, say no love is like there's no love like a mother's love, you know.
Yeah. Well, they're all saying the first year of the biggest thing in your life, like marriage, can't be the hardest.
Yeah, getting over that 1 year hump. My mom told me, and we went through that there. So yeah, it's that. So apparently that's going to be with pretty much any man that you're getting used to being with that person, living with them. Yeah,
and sharing a life with them. It can also be a 2-year hump.
Some cases, yeah.
But it gets better with time.
Yep, all depends on how you take it. Pretty much similar to, even just similar to making new friends, like with Dora. I mean, I'm not saying it's completely the same. Obviously, there's a big difference with, you know, man, just, you know, everyday friends. But yeah, it is a similarity between the two, though, especially when it's for the first time.
Yeah, and I've had moments I just wanted to cry.
But there's always that little that back voice in the back of the head, like, don't give up, don't give up. Yeah.
I know it would be devastating to you if I did.
Probably both of us, to be honest, there.
Yeah.
So like, you saw like what happened with that outburst with Diego and Dora there.
Yeah.
Yeah, how both of their reactions were. Yeah. So yeah, basically in general, like we just compared it to the marriage thing. Going into new people, new territory in general.
Yeah.
It's not always easy at first.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but it's not going to be easy at first.
Yeah.
And it will take some time. But one thing they say, but don't give up easily now.
I know you cannot give up being a parent.
Obviously, especially a good parent. Yeah.
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 Because that child's always with you.
Mm-hmm. You definitely don't want to lose your child there.
Or abandon them.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're a part of you.
Yep. Yep, that would be right. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, on that thing?
That's about it.
Oh, yeah. So, basically, in bottom line, there's that. I guess we done pretty much gave you a movie with this review. And now featuring the review of Dora by Box 33 Box logo. Okay. Or I guess maybe like Double Toast's longest reviews that they've had there. like Kazam. Yeah. So hope y'all enjoyed all that. If you did, definitely give it a like, subscribe, buy some of our available comic books, share this information with your friends so they can do all of this, and everybody who can, definitely support us on Patreon, even if it's just $1 a month. We would definitely appreciate that support there for all that we're doing on this channel. And then plus, as you can definitely, and even to evolve this, not with comics, reviews, and all of that, because as you can see, we had to have that jump cut, then switch from the camera to the laptop. Yeah, we're on the laptop recording right now for this part. So, yeah, which means I gotta get a longer memory card. So, but so yeah. Definitely support us so we can evolve and do all, and make, as Double Toasted say, feature support us on Patreon so we can keep bringing it, keep bringing you more content, new content, and say live streams, and even animated shorts. So yeah, in our case, reviews, comic updates, fan trailers for fun, going to church, random stuff, and random stuff here and there, like watching She-Hulk and reading manga. So yeah, definitely support us there, and we will see you in the next movie. As not sure what the goodbye song for Dora was, but we'll just say, we just reviewed it. Now the movie is complete. Now, we just reviewed it. This is a movie you should check out now. We reviewed it.
Was that gonna do a backflip?
I would, but I might, even if I was successful with doing the backflip, there's a chance I might hit that fan up there, Bubba. And yeah, I don't think I'd be as fortunate as Crunk and Raven Simone. Oh. I'm okay. Yeah. Okay. So until next time, see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
See you. Oh, as they I should have looked up Spanish for bye. Anyway, gracias.